everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob, Challenge Roth edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, SFuels, Right Fuel, Right Time, Master Spas, deboer Wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenge Athletes Foundation, our next guest, two-time Ironman World Champion, Challenge Roth champion, and last year, what'd you run, a 2:30?
Keep going.
Challenge, wait, we want me to do more? Last year, what a great race last year here. So wait, I want to go back. Last year, in the World Championship last year, you got a silver at the World Championship. You've got a gold, silver, and a bronze in Kona?
That's correct.
Right, yes.
Yes, I have the full set.
You've got the full set of medals. You've done it all. Mr. Patrick Lange joins us. How you doing, buddy? You know what I was figuring out the other day? You have run 10 sub-240 marathons off the bike. Who the hell else has done that?
You tell me. You're the walking
Nobody.
history book.
I think you're the only guy in history to run 10 sub-240 marathons off the bike, starting with when in Kona was probably your first one, right?
No,
maybe not.
I mean, in Ironman Texas,
Ironman Texas.
No, wait. I think in Ironman Texas I did 2:40:01 or something.
That
like
doesn't
that.
count then. See,
Yeah.
come on now.
Yeah.
No, but you've done.
No, it's that's a couple of 240s. And back in the days when I started with Ironman racing in 2016, a 240 was.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Like really fast. Like
now
And now it became irregular. It makes me happy to have started a trend there. And but ever since then, the sport seems to be evolving so quickly.
Yes.
With this young generation coming and pushing so hard, so the times keep dropping and dropping. I mean, I was also the first one to go sub 8 hours in Kona.
Yes, you were.
Which was also it's a milestone. I
big
think
milestones.
It's cool to leave a mark like that in the history books of the sport. It's really cool for me to have set a standard there, and now seeing, we will see the times dropping. And it's great to see. I think it's the sport is still.
Well, the cool part is when you look at 2023, when you run a 2:30 at Roth, and then you run 2:30 the year before at Israel, and then 2:35 this last year in Texas, 2:32 at Nice, like I said, 2:30 at Roth. I mean, you're getting better. Do you feel that way?
Yes, yes, definitely. And by achieving the 2:30, 40 it was in Ironman Israel with a lot of elevation.
Sebastian Kienle was blown away by your time in Israel, because he said that is not an easy run course.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was raining, cats and dogs, and but the competition made me push to another level.
Right.
If you would have asked me before the race, is that even possible? I would say no. Like the absolute barrier will be 2:34 maybe.
Yeah.
And even for that, I would thought you will need the best day of your life. So having the competition put me into the spot where I just have to overcome my own mental barriers.
Yes.
It was just like going into another dimension. I had Gregor Barnaby following me along and bumping into me all the time, and it made me. No, it honestly, it opened a different.
Did it upset you?
It did, and it woke up the Patrick Lange that I didn't even know.
You sort of forgot about.
Because I'm not an angry person in any way, or I'm not aggressive. But this really put out the war Patrick in me. And I thought to myself, you want to go to war? You're fucking at the wrong spot, my friend. So I was getting really angry.
Yeah.
And it is like almost a suicide commando to go at kilometer 27, 28 and 29 in an Ironman marathon to go 3:15 on the kilometer.
Yes.
So it was kind of like waking up the.
You found a side of yourself maybe you didn't realize was still there.
No, and it this opened the door to those incredible times that you just mentioned. And now we regularly discuss if it's possible to go to sub 2, exactly.
2, well, if somebody's going to do it,
it is possible.
It's totally
and
possible.
I give everything to be the one, to be the first one, because monuments like that are leaving a mark in the sport.
Yeah.
And you mentioned all the wins, and it's really it makes me so proud to have achieved all that. But most importantly, I think as a sports person, you want to leave a mark in the sport that you love so much.
Right.
And this is the opportunity to just be recorded in the history books in another way, and it's definitely a driving force for me to set those monuments.
When you look at this race, Magnus has won the last 2 years. You sort of know what his strategy is going to be. He's going to go.
And will be.
Yeah,
he's of course.
Going to be go. And you have to try to minimize that damage on the bike. And your cycling keeps getting better and better.
That's the frustrating part. You get better and better on the bike, but still those guys keep going faster and faster. I think last year he was going sub 4 hours.
He did, 3:57
which is,
or something.
I mean, I'm just currently looking at someone who achieves this as well, Mr.
Andrew Starkowitz. Yes,
Starkowitz. And we have to be realistic.
Right.
I mean, my body composition is just not made for this race.
For the power.
Exactly. The power to weight ratio doesn't count as much here, because I also talked to Magnus after the race, and quite interestingly, he said to me his power numbers, and they were lower compared to, so it was obviously higher than my power numbers, pure power, but compare power to weight, I pushed more than him. And this is how you see the physics are kind of like stinging me, you know. But still, I go into this race, and I think I will have my chances on Sunday. Right. And I will go all in for them.
Well, it's interesting because I remember interviewing Magnus before World Championships at Nice last year, and he says, you know, I feel like this course is good for me. I know that it's climbing, but I don't think the climbing is that steep. And it turned out there was. It took out of him, and you got second and caught him in that race. But it's like every one of these races, one part will play well for you, and the other part plays well for him, and then
but it's great for the story.
It's great for the sport because you don't know. It's not like one person going off the front and that's it. Something's going to happen somewhere along the line.
Exactly, and you know, this is the story we want to. For me, myself, of course, I want to have a race where I'm in the lead from start to finish, but that's boring. Right. So in this storytelling,
that's why you swim slower and ride slower, because you don't want to create a boring race for people. That's so nice of you.
When I'm in the race, you will never get a boring race. That's exactly for sure, because I will fight until the last meter,
no question,
to get this win. But no, the point what I want to say is we are now live in first television in Germany.
Right.
And this doesn't come out of nowhere. I think those stories we create there, especially in the pro field, but also as well in the age group field, the amazing
the
triathlon parties and the amazing stories we can tell is amazing, and puts us into the spot where we are right in this year. For the first time, we will be covered in live television in German television. It's great, isn't it? Like, it's amazing.
Well, it's phenomenal. And you know, so last year was we've lost Sebastian Kienle, we've lost Jan Frodeno. In terms of the legends, we had our 3 legends.
Yes.
And you're the last man standing right now. And you're still going strong. You're going to go be the first guy under 230. There's going to be a 228 that comes along, hopefully this weekend, and you know that'll be phenomenal. It's either here or in Kona in October.
That's going to be a tough one to be realistic to run 230 in the Kona heat is kind of almost not possible, I would say.
Okay. What do you think is possible there? 235?
No, faster. I think 233 is possible. I think a time like in Nice, like a high 232 maybe, is definitely possible.
Yes.
For me speaking. I didn't. I raced only once with carbon shoes in Kona, and we also know carbon shoes make a big difference.
Yes.
And I had like a rough race back in 22, so the time was not really
Didn't
fast.
matter,
So I think this is possible. But yeah, with the elevation and the wind and the energy lab and the humidity and the heat, it's gonna be really tough to go to sub 2:30 in Kona. But let's focus on this race in Roth. I think here it is possible. We are sitting here in shirts, but we are kind of freezing because it is actually
it's
chilly.
It's chilly, and it's supposed to be like that all weekend.
Yes, this is good for running.
This is good running weather, no question about it.
So in the last 3 years where I raced here, it was smoking hot. Like it was so hot.
Yes.
And also when you run along the channel, you have the dust and everything. So I'm really looking forward to have good running conditions. Obviously, the wind will play into.
Right.
You have to take this into consideration. But in general, we will have 10 degrees less temperature than the previous years. And this is going to be a big
now, is that
benefit.
I mean, you do so well in the heat. Is that a positive for you if it's cooler? Because I think that sort of can help. Now, Magnus has been working on his ability to run the heat. He did great in Miami, right? And he did phenomenal at that event. And if it's cooler, that sort of plays well for him.
Yeah, it's kind of. I haven't decided right.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
So, where I struggle the most is when the water is cold as well. So
like in Oceanside.
Yeah, in Oceanside was just horrible for me. I was looking forward to race this great race, and really we had like a cold front or something.
So
it
cold.
was just.
And it's riding along the coast there.
Yeah.
When you come out of the cold water.
Exactly.
And the wind is it's miserable.
Exactly. So I think I'm hoping that we will have a wetsuit swim. You're never sure because it's due to the channel. It also depends how much floodings they have for the ships to go through.
Right.
So it's never really a stable temperature in the channel. You can also not say, okay, we have 2 cold days, so the temperature in the channel will be low.
Right.
So it's kind of how they manage the temperature in the channel. So I'm just hoping if it's really. Right now, the forecast says 16 degrees in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for a wetsuit swim, even if I'm a better non-wetsuit swimmer. But this also just comes with warm outside temperatures. So I would prefer the wetsuit swim.
Yes, and I'm sure. I mean, last year Magnus was right there out of the water.
He will be this year as well. There's no arguing about that. This guy is just a great triathlete all around,
Yes.
And he's a couple of years younger than I am.
A few. Just a few.
Just a tiny bit. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Do you still love this?
Absolutely, man. Like,
I can see
buzzing.
Just how motivated you are. And I love the fact that you're inspired by guys like Magnus, because they respect the hell out of you. And you want them to have their best day.
Of course.
And then you want to knock them off on their best day, which is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. And, looking at the top 5 in Nice, for example, I was the only one over 30.
Oh, my God!
So, I was like, okay.
That's wild, yes.
But still, it's great to have... I never had no competition. I mean, thinking back of the years, fighting against Sabi and Jan.
Yes.
Those guys really made
and Lionel, and you had great battles all the time.
That's going to be interesting to see how
battles.
Lionel will perform this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Once
he did great in Oceanside.
Did go to the German wind tunnel now and made some progress.
Adjustments.
No.
Well, that's what's so cool. We've got so many great personalities in the sport.
Exactly.
And everybody brings something a little different to the table. And if they can bring, like you said, live television all day long here, which is pretty special.
And the cool thing for me in my position is I kind of feel I don't have to prove anything anymore. You know, you can, those rucksack you're carrying is a lot lighter.
Right, because you've done everything.
So
there's really, what else is there left to do?
I can go into the race and obviously I feel pressure, I feel nervous, I feel excited. As soon as I don't feel that anymore, I think you should
Yes.
you should quit or I should quit. But it still get me really excited. Also to watch people like Lionel, watch him and see how he does. Sometimes I watch his YouTube videos, and it's cool to have competition that brings out the best of you.
Well, and you know what? And you've had races like this. Lionel in 2017 did absolutely everything right.
Yes.
Comes off the bike with a 10-minute lead, runs a 2:51 marathon, and you run 2:39, and you win by a couple minutes. And most people would go, "Congratulations, Patrick. I need to find 2 minutes somewhere." Where Lionel at that point was, I think he changed his diet, changed his coaches, changed everything.
Yeah.
So it's funny how 2 minutes can make such a difference between winning.
Now he's
and
way
losing.
smarter, isn't he?
Oh, so much smarter.
Yeah,
yes,
so.
and he gets it. And he's just being a dad. He's just been, he's in such a better position. This has been such a cool era that that you've been part of, and just coming out of nowhere and getting third in Kona, and people didn't know who you were, and you're sorry, Mark, for breaking your the run course record.
Yeah,
sorry, Crowe, for breaking the course record the following time and winning the race, and first guy to go under 8. I mean, you were really changing perceptions at that point, because for a lot of years, the swim had always been 50 minutes. The runs were 240, 240 to 244. They were sort of staying around that, and the progress was all on the bike. People were dropping from 428 was Mark Allen's best to all of a sudden they're going 405, 408. So those were the change were on the bike, and then you're going, oh, wait a second, you can run faster. Why can't you run sub 240?
Yeah.
So you've changed a lot
good
in the
times
sport.
and still going.
You're still going. Always, thank you so much for taking time and being such a great representative of our sport. It's always such a treat. Is this something we're going to see another 2, 3, 4 years from Patrick Lange?
Yes.
Don't you think?
I think you just mentioned the energy that's still burning inside of me, and I definitely want to be part of the professional circuit another at least 2 years. So I don't want to put this exact time stamp onto it, because, as you said, I still have the feeling that I keep improving, and I still get better, and I think just there's always this little bit extra that I think I can do better, and as soon as I have the feeling that I can do better and can improve, I think age is just a number. It's also what I posted after Nice, that this race showed. Really, age is just a number. And
and we've seen that in our sport when Mark Allen won at 37 and Crowe won at 38, and Dave Scott finished second when he was 40, and that changes all the time.
So this is why I will be around a little bit more for Bob Babbitt. And,
exactly.
This is the reason why I keep going, to be in your show.
So we can chat. I always enjoy catching up with you. I always learn stuff. But I still think you're the only guy to go 10 sub to
That's quite an interesting stat. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, did Greg Barnaby say anything to you after the race about the banging? Did he even did you ask him?
No, we were just, I think we were both excited that we were able to push
each other
to this limit, because it was his first Ironman.
Yeah.
And he was kind of excited to stick with me for such a long time. And he just said, I didn't mean to bother you in any way, and I said to him, hey, look, it's all cool because you made me
go faster
dimension, so I'm absolutely happy with it.
Love it.
That's
you never know where motivation comes from. That's very cool.
Exactly.
Love it. Patrick, thank you so much for taking time, buddy.
Thank you.
Patrick Lange. And the other thing I have, I've got
he was about to stop.
I've got the video that we shot from last year of you. We said, give us your victory dance when you win, and we've got the video. So we'll show that when you win.
Okay. Perfect. Let's do that.
Patrick Lange has been our guest. Again, Breakfast with Bob Challenge Roth edition. Hold on, we'll be right back.